Put your mind on it, buddy.
I'm trying to do this real quick though. I don't know what's going on with this thing.
So my wife is having issues with the going live thing. We're a little bit late, of course. Anyway, one of the topics I wanted to talk about today is interesting. Is there and can you find peace and ways to find peace in a relationship in a marriage? Now, I haven't had time to think about this. This right here, exactly. I haven't had time to think about this, so it should be very interesting. And
Oh, I have some other stuff too.
yeah, I said and some other stuff.
Okay, so you're gonna talk about the peace stuff first.
I don't know.
I don't know what you talking about.
How do?
Yeah, I
well,
don't know what you doing.
that ain't how you do it. So, you always hear people saying, especially men, us men, that we want peace, 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 peace in your relationship, peace in the marriage. And I guess the question is, how do you go about getting it? And is it a such thing? And what does that look like? That's what it is, baby. That's the conversation.
Okay, so you got to talk about it.
I don't
That's
know.
your
I think
thing.
it's gonna be interesting. Well, I think
Let y'all tell her y'all never have peace.
yeah. So I think my mind is a little bit different than the average man when it comes to that. Peace for me in a relationship is I don't like a lot of arguments. Uh I just want everything to be even kill. So how would I get to that, or how do I think that we could get to that? For me, which I think for the most part we do have a peaceful relationship, but we don't argue a lot. It What peace looks like for me, it's hard for me to explain. What peace looks like for me is when I come in the house or come in the room or when we go out, we just have fun. I think when a lot of guys say that they want peace, they come in the house, go to their man cave, drink beer, and don't want their woman to bother them for a certain amount of time, whatever that time limit is. And I don't know how. Like, what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Like,
For who? You?
For a man. Like, so I would like, or for anybody, for you, what brings peace to you in our relationship? Because I mean, everybody wants peace in a relationship.
Yeah, but what you said? What would bring peace to me?
Yeah,
Or what brings peace
hold on
to
for
me?
1 second. I don't know why, like, with your little Leah thuggish styles, it's making me feel away.
Shut
Anyway,
up.
go ahead. Yeah, so basically, no, seriously, I am not being funny neither.
Oh,
But
God.
what yeah, what does peace look like to you? Maybe I can elaborate because I always have to go off of you anyway. So what does peace look like in our relationship, in
Peace
a
to me
relationship?
looks
I know
like
it's different for everybody.
I don't know. Like I think it's different. I look at it differently than I think you do. Maybe. Yeah,
And
we do.
certain things,
Because
maybe.
peace to me it means having organization
Yeah, that's definitely different for me.
within the house, right? The marital home, organization within the marital bedroom, um, us being on one accord with regards to things that need to be done. Kind of, I guess that whole concept of moving as one type thing, that's me. And that's what peace looks like to me. Knowing that we're moving as one and I ain't got to, I don't, wouldn't have to worry about, um, oh, did Jermaine just go and just do something individually and we haven't even talked about it. We haven't done like having that security and knowing that that's not going to happen and that we're moving as one is what I consider peaceful.
Okay, so then that's why I needed to go off of you because that's what I was thinking as well. So of course it'll be different for every couple, every individual that wants whatever their piece is. And again, like we always say, that's something that needs to be discussed too. Because now, when I really think about it even more, uh, what brings me peace is also uh, knowing that I don't have to worry about you cheating on me,
Mm-hmm.
worrying about any extra um activities as far as guys or you going out in the street, and like that's a very peaceful state for me, in a very to a way that we could keep peace, and it also helps me be peaceful and have peace within our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
um Actually, I just realized this too. I don't really need the compliments, but you motivating me
Mm-hmm.
actually brings me, and this is all on a whim because I'm thinking, this literally, I just made this topic up. But like you told me the other day, it made me mad as hell. You said, look, what you're not gonna do is keep saying what this, that, and the third, and da 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 da. That like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what you're not gonna do is tell me that I'm not gonna do that when I've been doing this my whole life. But then, like at the end of the day, it's like, wow, my wife really got my back. I know she's saying this because she know I could do this or know whatever, and that's peaceful too. Versus, uh, you could be out here doing this. Why you like this, that,
Right.
and the third, and blah 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 blah. So it's not really a compliment, but it's instilling a little bit of foot in my paws as to keep me trying to go and to keep me motivated in a direction.
Right. That's true.
Um
Yeah. Go to the bathroom. Sorry, y'all. Water.
oh,
Water all
but
day.
you can go to the bathroom. See, this don't bring me peace.
That's why I almost went peaceful early.
But so yeah, that's one, those are some things that could that brings me peace. I think that for women it may be a little bit different. Um Peace with a woman, probably, I would think for her anyway. I'll speak for my wife. Uh and it should be peaceful for any woman to know that your man or your husband or your partner or whatever, not just like I said, not out there cheating. Uh you know that they're not gonna just up and leave because things are rocky and stuff like that, as she said, especially for her, knowing that I won't do anything crazy with money. So I think peace can be achieved. Um, oh, now she gonna yell from the bathroom.
No, listen, that
But
add something to that.
oh Jesus Christ!
But look though, why is that considered part of the peaceful dynamic? Because
Why is what?
when you said like woman knowing that her man is not right, because that should be an automatic.
It should.
Like, why is that something that it shouldn't even be something that people have to worry about when getting married? That just shows you how twisted society is, right? Because like that should be like the last thing. Like that's the basic. So why are we taking for granted that part of a marriage is the possibility that a person may cheat and that them not cheating is above the basic minimum? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's just like the conversation we had the other day. Toxicity has become the normality. So therefore, sometimes, and it's not saying it's right, but sometimes we have to operate in the realm that's given to us. And it's just just statistically, people are out here cheating on one another.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, so you've been cheated on.
Right. Yeah.
I've done a lot of cheating on people, not her, but and I'm not proud of that either. I'm laughing but I'm not proud of that. But it's not the piece of that. That's why that peacefulness comes in, because when you know that you don't have with everything else you got going on in the marriage, and because that became a normality, then knowing your partner is not out there cheating, that is a peaceful state.
I think that's so sad. Though.
It's definitely different.
That cheating has become so
Normal, yeah. And
it's that's interesting. But I'm like that should like I didn't even when you guys about I didn't even think about that aspect of like my thing was like, oh, the home being because like why would I have to I don't know, it's just hard to explain because like why would I have to consider him cheating as part of my peace? Like that's an automatic.
No, it's automatic. It's supposed to be an automatic, but you know. So, but and again, like I said, it's different for everybody else. For me to have peace, it's just like also you being me making sure that, or when you're happy, I'm happy. That puts me at peace as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have all of these criterias for things that keeps me peaceful. I don't need to, like I said, go sit in a room in a man cave and or go over with the boys and hang out to have peace. Like that's not my
Oh, you just
definition
made
of
me
it.
think of something else too. Well, you're right. I think it's due to society. That is
What's
that
up,
is a
bro?
huge part of it. This whole that this cheating has become so normalized. It is due to society because you see it everywhere now. Like it, I even can't even think of a show I can put on and somebody not cheat, or that's not part of it,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a situation where someone is. It's like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be the norm in a relationship. You're not supposed to go get married and then be like,
But
oh, he didn't cheat on me or she didn't cheat on me. Yay, that's crazy.
yeah, but so even like I said, even because of that, then just think about how peaceful it is. Just think about your last relationship versus
Right,
our marriage. Like
right,
you're not gonna sit and tell me you wasn't sitting there worrying about, oh, I wonder what he's doing because he ain't answering my phone.
right.
If you call me and I don't answer the phone, isn't that like a more peaceful state for
It
you
is.
to know that? Yeah. So that's definitely it.
Yeah. Because, like, matter of fact, if I call and you don't answer the phone, right, the last thing on mine is him cheating, right? I'm not even worried about that. I'm just like, you need to answer the phone because I need to ask him something. And I'm going to forget. Or I'm trying to ask him something. You know what I'm saying? That's what my thing is. It has nothing to do with cheating.
And so and again, that's crazy because that actually is that should be peace to everybody.
Right.
But anyway, I guess in you complimenting your partner, or as far as women, me complimenting you, does that like reassure you that okay, he still think I'm attractive or yada yada? Do that bring some type of peace to you to know that okay, I still think that you almost look better than me or whatever the case is, and like I'm not looking at
Almost look
anybody
better than
else?
you.
Yeah, because I'm the prettiest dude in the world, the prettiest person in the world.
No, look, I don't know if I stress over stuff like that though.
Oh, okay.
But I can't with him though because you too touchy feeling for that. So like.
What you mean?
So I figure you're attracted to me because you always touching.
I seen that too though. I seen that too. They said that also brings certain type of peace to women as well when the partner is touchy feely because of what you just said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe it's
so
some
yeah,
things.
it is.
Maybe it's some things for you that brings you peace that you don't. That's on the lower levels that you don't think about because it's because of your intellect level and the things that you like are so
No, I was
different.
just getting ready to say that. I think when those things, when you have, because everybody has like these superficial levels of stuff, right? But when those things start to bother me, because that would be untruthful to say that it hasn't, right? But when those things start to bother me, it's normally a result of a whole bunch of other stuff going on too. So now I'm extra sensitive to everything. Does that make sense? Like if I'm feeling like, oh, we're this and that, or this is happening, we not syncing really well, blah blah, then that other stuff may come into play.
Well,
The woman brings peace in that way of an atmosphere, a haven from outside the world at the end of a long stressful day. That's true.
man, you always be saying some deep shit that I don't even know what the hell I'm saying.
That is very true. But you know that because you said something right. You say when a man, some men describe peace as going hanging out with their friends and stuff like that, right? And I know it's almost totally off subject, but it kind of goes with it sort of a little bit. But I was thinking like, I think something else that may be stress, because at the end of the day, a lot of times the peace is broken up in a relationship because of outside stressors,
yep,
right?
Yep.
And I think sometimes it's stressful on a relationship to have friends, even if they're well intentioned, who are always making remarks about you not being out with us anymore, or you're not. You get what I'm saying? Like
be.
Some people find that to be extremely stressful. Like like I was told, there's always truth in a joke or whatever. Something with a call and text. That's true. Like I think it doesn't help when people have friends that almost. I think it's maybe jokingly, but I don't know if the friends realize for some people how much of an impact that can have on a relationship with them constantly saying stuff like that.
For certain people, it can. For me, I don't really get.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For certain people, yeah. Because if you're go ahead.
Go ahead.
If you're a woman and every time you turn around when you speak to your friends, they're saying you don't hang out with us no more.
Same thing
you
with
don't
man.
do this, man. You got that. He got you in the house all the time. You always with him. You don't. that becomes a touchy point at some point in people's really some people for some people.
It does because that negativity,
It's still negative. Yeah,
I
it's
would
like
consider
still
that
a negative
negativity
thing. Yeah.
because that can seep in your head
Mm-hmm.
and then make you start having thoughts like because sometimes they'll even leave, oh, that sounds like that's a little bit controlling or something,
Yeah.
right? And from a man perspective, man, you don't hang out with the boys no more. Like, man, you get mad, we don't get to see you. I mean, at the end of the day, a friend is gonna be a friend, whether you're
Right.
there or not,
Right.
and they'll understand the marriage aspect.
Right.
Like Trey, I can't speak nothing but the world of him. Like I don't hang out with him that much. He call and check up on me every blue moon. Like man, I'm just checking on you.
Mm-hmm.
He understand that I'm trying to do things different now.
Right.
I want to do this sidebar right quick, Mr. Staley. Man, I'll be seeing you and your wife post. First of all, I like how you got married too. It's a sidebar. I'm sorry, y'all. It wasn't really nothing that I seen coming down the pipeline from your page. It was like, yo, Mr. and Mrs. Staley, you've always been that type of dude, man. That was dope. And looking at things that y'all do, kind of remind me. You'll have to see him on his page. It's kind of remind me of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like they always together. They always. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have their whatever quarrels, but it's just you could feel. And I'm not saying this, but just because I'm talking here, because I don't even have my man number like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can feel like I can see and kind of feel y'all connection. It's like, and especially from a man's perspective, it's like I can really, really tell that you love your wife and vice versa. You know what I mean? So, and we know each other, grew up together and all of that, but I can really, really see it, brother. And I appreciate that, man. And the reason I appreciate it is because, like I've said, on this, it's so much negativity when it comes to marriage and relationships out there that even some of these groups that we're in, we've said this before, you can't, it's like the happiness is not being shown. And that's our purpose of doing this. And, I just want to let you know, I recognize that I was going to hit you up in your inbox, but I didn't want to look like a weirdo. But that y'all dope, bro. I like that.
Yeah.
We're going to have to link up too sometime as soon as we get through all this Christmas and stuff. I'm going to hit you up though. But anyway, go ahead, I'm sorry.
But no, you're right. I mean, you said that with the negativity, and I just saying, want to emphasize that can come from anywhere, and it can come from people like supposedly joking about your relationship. But like you said, that kind of seeps in.
It does,
and it seeps in even if a person doesn't realize that it's seeping in. So you may have people joking about, oh, you still all hooked to the ball and chain, and or something like that. Like that's all negativity, right? So like people need to be careful of what they're saying to couples and especially couples that are in marriages, that are in long-term marriages and everything else.
But what comes that comes from, just like we talked about before, their past experiences. Ninjas is not none or tricks or like because they didn't have bad relationships and they see you potentially happy. I don't think it's, some of the time it is, maybe I don't think it's intentional that they're doing it, but they just don't think that it's possible for people to be that happy or be happy, right? And what I've learned with us especially, that as happy as you make me, and you've told me this 1,000 times, you're gonna hit rough patches. But even in those rough patches, like Luther said, I'd rather have bad times with you than good times with somebody else or whatever it is. Like that's like real, that's true,
right?
You know what I mean? So that's not saying because you not that's not showing, that's not saying because you're happy and showing everybody you're happy, you don't have bad moments. The people that speaks like that, they're stuck in the bad moments and like, oh, you just can't be happy like that all the time. It's not that you're happy all the time. It's that you're all the time happy with the person you're with.
But I think that some people that speak like that too, also, you're right, it's a reflection of probably but I think some people speak like that don't even realize that they could be doing harm. That's the other thing. Yeah, they just like, because I've heard people joke, like you said, what about the ball and chain thing all the time. I'm like, that is not funny, like to be saying to people. Like, I know you mean it in a jokingly way, but you probably shouldn't be speaking, because you're speaking negativity on somebody's marriage to do that, and you shouldn't do that. So people just need to be more mindful. Like, you shouldn't be saying to your friend, girl, he got you on lockdown and you don't, you can't go nowhere and all that. That's crazy. Like that, you don't say that stuff to people who are I mean, not unless you see, then unless they're in a abusive relationship for real, then you shouldn't be joking about with it. As far as that, you should be trying to give them advice to get out of it. But you don't do that with people that's in a relationship, especially not even in a young marriage. As you, it should be expected that people in a young marriage are spending more time together so that they can nurture that marriage.
Uh, I'm gonna throw this in there too because it just popped in my head when you said that. Um, I was looking at our just married. We got a what is that thing called? Vision
Vision board.
board that we gonna have to start really getting into. But this just popped in my head when I looked up there. We got something up there that says just married 20 years ago, right? So going back to and it just this is how my mind worked or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the early parts of marriage, um, what people need to understand, like a business, uh, the first 5 years of that business, and I'm learning this being
Yeah, that's
married
true.
now. The
Mm-hmm.
first 5 years of that business is the most crucial,
Mm-hmm.
and the I forget but start out great. It's gonna start out everything else. Then you're gonna hit this even kill
Yes.
spot,
All right.
and then it has to from that point. That's when you don't give up. You kick and go, and you push even harder to get over the hump. And once that happens, it should go back high, and to me start uh leveling out
Mm-hmm.
at a place of happiness, if
Mm-hmm.
that's to speak. Anyway, I just that reminded me of that when you said that. My mind started
Yeah,
wandering.
that's true.
So anyway,
And you're right, it is a culture shock to them. So they not spend as much time with their friend, and maybe their friend even changed to the point where it's like, okay, I can't be around that type of activity anymore, blah blah. And so it is a downer to them. It is. It
well,
definitely is.
I,
He used to sometimes be around a person that would speak so negatively
yeah, that buck.
about marriage. It was just like crazy, like to the point where it's like, why are you getting married type thing. And it's like, what? And I'm standing right there. Like that's just insane.
Yeah, that was a big step for me as well. Because it was like every time I came around, it was like he'll have something to say about you, or have something to say about you know who I was, or who he thought I was, and who I potentially thought I was going to end up being. And I was in a different place in my life. So he was speaking that negativity to her, which even saying things to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And ordinarily I would have been cool with those things because I was out here doing crazy stuff, but I was a different person in my life. He kept talking about, oh, I know you. You don't really know me. You know of me. You know me because of Rock Hill and me playing basketball. But so I actually had to branch off and go away from uh, my best friend because he always hung around him and stuff like that. And I don't have a problem with him like that, but I just had to remove myself from that situation. One, to make my relationship work. Two, because I know the things that I used to do, and how people looked at me and the things that they do. So I just didn't want to have that type of energy uh in my relationship and those vibes around me. At first I was like, I went back and forth with her. Oh, I can do this and I don't have to do what they do, da 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 da. But then I still do believe that I wouldn't do it. But why even one put that type of pressure on myself? Number two, that's not who I am. So I don't want to bring those type of vibes even into those spirits and vibes even into my being, to even bring that into my household.
All
So,
right.
but anyway,
And that's important. Protecting the household. It's interesting. So that kind of goes into the next topic a little bit, sort of like. But you know how you talk about how people used to be and how they aren't and this and that. And I'm thinking about that thing you had posted where the girl was saying that she used to have threesomes or something, but she don't want to do it with her man, right? And so
yeah.
they were like, "You're wrong. Like, why would you not want to do that?" So when you think about who people used to be and who they are in a marriage, for some reason, people have a hard time connecting that there's a difference.
My other topic is these gonna go hand in hand. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They have a hard time connecting that there's a difference, right? So, like she was saying, there were things that she was willing to do as a single woman outside of a marriage. But then once she became married, it's like, no, those things are off limit, right? And I don't understand what's so hard for people to grasp about that.
Yeah, I don't either. Number one, to elaborate a little bit, she had a threesome with a guy that she was dealing with, and I guess another girl or whatever, when she was younger or whatever. So she was sitting on a podcast explaining that, and the guy was like, "Oh, so the man that protects, provide, pays all the bills, and this, that, and the third, uh, you won't let him have that access to you, but you let somebody that you didn't even love have access to you." Uh, and basically, he was insinuating that because he protects and provides, he should be able to have a threesome, or she should have a threesome whenever he wants to because of that, which is a bunch of, excuse my language, bullshit. Like, if you've changed, and that ain't, you could have had threesomes your whole life, right? And all of a sudden you decide, like, no, matter of fact, you could have been a prostitute, a hoe, a hooker, a stripper, whatever you wanted to be, and you decide that you don't want to do that. This is why I say this go hand in hand. That protecting and providing, that people don't understand what it is, and that woman saying, no, I don't want to do that, then how are you protecting and providing for her by trying to make her do something she don't want to do? What are you protecting? What are you providing for her? You're trying to force her to do something that she's no longer willing or want to do. So that's like that whole conversation, or that whole thing, is just messed up. Nobody should ever be forced to do anything that they don't want to do. I don't care what you did in your previous time or who you did it with.
Right.
So,
And that's crazy because in one of these in a marriage group, a lady was saying that for some reason, and she doesn't know why. She said she has 11. Her and her husband have an 11-month-old child. They're still kind of newly married, and she was saying, like, she just has no desire to have sex, right? And she couldn't explain, like, why she just doesn't have his desire. She said there's nothing about it that turns her on. She said initially she wouldn't want to have sex, but she would do it with him just because he wanted to. She said but now she's gotten to the point where she's so turned off, not by him but just by the act of sex, that she doesn't want to have sex. Her husband response to that was what?
I don't know.
What do you think it would have been?
I mean, it depends on what type of man he is. I don't know.
Okay, what would a loving husband's response
be? A loving husband would have tried to, if that happened with us, I would have tried to just figure out, well, actually, I don't, sex is never, now it's not that big a part of my life. I'll be okay with it. But I think that's a good question. Appropriate response. So I don't know, because it depends on how important sex is to an individual.
No, but I'm saying, but what would your response be if your spouse all of a sudden is like, hey, all of a sudden is like, I just don't have any desire to have sex with you, or I don't want to have sex. That's what I'm saying.
You can't put me in that.
Okay, what would you say?
It wouldn't bother me though.
But what would you say?
Be like, okay.
You wouldn't think there's something going on with me?
Well, yeah, I would think something like, I would think that maybe the the menopause kicked in, your hormones is out of whack. If you're talking about just having a baby, then the postpartum thing. Mm-hmm. So then, something like that. Yeah, I would think something. I guess what I wouldn't do is try to force you to do it.
So what his response to that was, well, I'm gonna go out and get from somebody else.
Yep.
My thing is, as a husband, like, and I'm not gonna say everyone is what literate in or knowledgeable in regards to medical stuff and postpartum stuff and everything else, but just as a partner, not even just as a husband, as a wife too. If you notice that your spouse is acting outside of what they normally would, regardless of what that's what sex, because the thing is, if your spouse stopped bathing, I don't know, you're not gonna say you don't bathe.
You start washing your hands.
I'm gonna go out here and bathe somebody else.
You start washing your hands.
No, but my point is, you're gonna try to figure out what is wrong.
No, you start washing your hands. I ain't figuring out nothing.
You're gonna try to figure out what's wrong, right? Like, what is going on? So why is it that the minute a partner sexual libido declines, the first thing people do, instead of trying to figure out what's going on, is well, I'm gonna go cheat, or I'm gonna go find somebody else.
Wow.
And I'm like, why is this dude not asking her what's wrong? Why is he not saying, hey, do you want to go see a doctor? Like, why is he not asking those type of questions? Why the first thing out your mouth that you're gonna go cheat?
Well, I can answer that. That's an easy question. And I've answered that 1,000 times before.
What?
A lot of relationships are built on sex. And that's the foundation of the sex. So once sex and money, once the money goes, if it's the woman or the man goes, once the sex leaves, then all of a sudden it's all type of problems.
Right.
So that's to me that's a simple answer. Yeah. Like okay, because you can say that the man in that situation, the man is he could be a great husband as far as catering to his wife needs, financially providing, and because obviously he's not emotionally providing if that's his first thought process. So I got to leave that one out. But all other categories, he got the box checks. But soon as sex goes away, he could have been like, okay, well, because I don't know their situation. They could have been having sex 6-7 times a day prior to that. Baby comes, she's having whatever issues she's having. And because he may be one of them guys that think, oh, well, I get married, I can have sex whenever I want to. She got to give it to me whenever I want to, yada, yada, yada. Well, yeah, he probably do love her, but because that's his mentality as far as sex concerned, that's exactly where he's going to go. Because to me, that foundation was built more on the sexual aspect of it.
And when you sit and you saying that is exactly what I actually titled this one about. Because I'm like, for some reason they make it seem like sex is not an obligation. And it never becomes, when you're married to someone, you never want anything that they're doing for you to become an obligation, right? Because an obligation is not something necessary that you love doing, that's going to be done out of love, that's going to be done out of sincerity, that's going to be done out of just a caring nature. That's not what obligation is. Obligation is most of the time somebody doing something that they really don't want to do because they feel like they owe it to you or that they have to. Why would you want your partner to feel that way at all? Ever.
I agree.
Like, I don't want anyone doing something for me out of obligation. If you do something for me because you respect me, do something for me because you love me, do something for me because you care about me and you genuinely care about my emotional and mental well-being and physical well-being, not because you feel like you're obligated to do it. Like, that's got to be the worst thing in the world.
I agree. I totally agree 110%. It's like if you do things, I don't know if this is a good analogy. It's sort of like if somebody does something for you and it brings it up to you.
Right.
That's, well, I did this for you, this, that, and the third. Well, why would you do that? Because if you do something for somebody, you're supposed to do it with the intentions of, you know what, I'm gonna help you out, or I'm gonna love you. I'm doing it because I love you, I care about you, or whatever the case. And as soon as something happens, the first thing shouldn't be, oh, well, I did this for you. Like, that's crazy to me.
Right.
That's absolutely absurd.
Right.
So,
and that was something I was like, why isn't this husband asking what's going on? Like, that seems like a real, to me, and shitty thing to do.
It's
to your spouse.
No, because I don't want to sit here like we bashing men.
No. I'm talking about for anybody to do. I think it's just a shitty thing to do to your spouse, to threaten. I don't care who you are, male or female. It's a shitty thing to threaten your spouse with stepping outside of your marriage and going with being with somebody else.
Sometimes it's men, boy, them things stop working on us, and then first thing women want to do is go out there and get to somebody else.
No, but I'm saying it works both ways. I think
put that out there. I don't want to look like we men bashing on this.
No, no, because I'm saying, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, for anybody to say that to their spouse, that's just wrong. Like, that's crazy.
Yep.
You see, you address the problem, try to find out what's going on, and but you don't threaten them with stepping outside the marriage. That's crazy.
I got another sidebar. Mr. Staley, you should if y'all don't do this, maybe you should try this as well. We mentioned this several times too. We do a touch base every Sunday, right? And I was doing it. I don't know if I told that story. I didn't really understand what a touch base was. I thought it was just to discuss only the problems we had that week, right? So normally, she'd be like, okay, it's time for we touch base, yeah. And she's like, so what do you have? And I'll be like, nothing. and I literally didn't have nothing to say because it was like, well, we ain't really arguing, we ain't really felt bad this week, everything went great, yada yada yada. And I mean that's part of it, but she made me understand, helped me understand that it's more of asking. Let me do it this way. Sometimes your partner may need something from you that they don't mention or don't pick up on, or something like that,
Mhm.
and as she helped me understand that you could think that you're doing everything right, and they could be feeling away, maybe because they don't want you to think that or don't want it to be an issue, or don't want to think it's nagging, or whatever the case is, and you could be thinking you're doing everything right. I'm guilty of that. And it could be, it could be, with me it was like, well, I don't go nowhere, I'm always at home, we always together, yada yada yada, all of these things, right, that I thought, and because of me I thought that that's the everything right, I don't disrespect it, yada yada. But it'd be other things that she needs from me that I thought I didn't even think about. So I said all that to say, if you do decide to do a touch base, anybody do a touch base, make sure you're asking your partner, is there anything that I could do better, or anything you need from me to, whatever it is, versus assuming. So it actually helps. And I said that to say because while she talk, I just be thinking, we had our Sunday, right? Normally we'll do it laying in the bed, and this is the great part of being married. I've never been like this before in my life. And so I was gonna go get some little flowers and put in our little jacuzzi bathtub, whatever, and this, that, and the third. So I went to the store to get the flowers, the roses, or whatever. And then when I came back in the house, she had the same idea, not far as the flowers, but she was washing out the bathtub, and we was gonna do it in there. Uh, that's also the part that I like to share things like that, because that's as I told our counselor, that's, to me, it's like we're starting to really, we always had that connection, but we're starting to really become more and more and more. When you start thinking like one another, and finishing thoughts without even thinking it, and things like that, that's just an amazing feeling. And it made me feel great. So anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Sorry. I have to throw those things in because I'll forget. I'm old.
Well, it's good. That's a good one though.
So
And you know what? It kind of take us to the next topic because I'm trying to figure out how people who live separately but they're married have that connection.
yeah, I can't, I don't even, I ain't had too much to say about that because I never do no shit like that. There's no way in the hell I'm going. I don't care if I live in this house
Mhm.
and you live right there next door. That ain't gonna work for me. That just wouldn't work for me. I don't see how people do. But now, again, I'll say this: if it works for them,
Mhm.
it works for them. I can't speak on that because
Mhm.
if you get married and you decide that that's what you need to stay married for, because what the other thing said, 20 years
They
they've
were
been
like
together,
20 years.
20 years of
Yeah.
being married and like literally being separate,
Right.
like living in separate houses. I personally, I'm not doing that. But if it worked for them, it worked for
But they wasn't just in separate houses, they was in different states.
them. I'm
Did you see
definitely,
that?
no, I'm definitely not doing
Yeah, they were in different states. Like he's in Pennsylvania, she's in like Los Angeles, I mean California or something like that. Like they're in totally different places. And
I think they cheating.
she did say that like they see each other every 2 weeks. And she said like if it goes any longer than that, she said her husband starts to get a little antsy. But
I think they cheating.
I don't know, maybe they're not.
I think they cheating. They got side pieces.
Yeah. That's my son like, y'all streaming? But I don't know, like, how can you 20 years seems like a long time.
That means the kids are grown from the other
But this is my
relationships.
thing though. I hate to see them move in together
And it
and then
don't
get
work.
divorced. I'm like,
They'll
maybe
move
y'all
back to
should have stayed
California.
separated or something because they're finally moving in together. And I just hope that it doesn't that can be a shocker. You so used now to like your own having things how because you would think they would know each other like that, but then also like how do you know each other like that if you've been living apart like that for that long?
Now,
So I can come to your house and be like, oh well, his house is always organized, and this is how he acts while we were together. So I'm pretty sure he likes things a certain way. That doesn't mean that when I move in with you, I know that you're gonna be like anal about oh the towels have to be lined up this way. Like I may not know that part of it. You get what I'm saying?
well, but I will say this though. I can understand I couldn't do it potentially how that would work. when you think about it. Because think about when I was driving truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I stay gone 2 or 3 days, the excitement from me being gone and not being around, it's like you keep reconnecting every time,
Mm-hmm.
every time. So if somebody's gone for 2 weeks and you're talking on the phone, then you have that anticipation of can't wait to see him. It can like potentially keep a different type of connection because you're constantly getting excited to see the person because you're not around.
True, but
them
I
every
just feel
day.
like we're boyfriend and girlfriend for 3 years.
I said that I can see the potential of it.
No, but I'm just saying that's what I would feel like though.
Well, how? Well,
Because we're not really living a married life. I would feel like we're boyfriend and girlfriend. I mean, I ain't saying I was cheating. I'm just saying like I wouldn't really know if I felt like husband and wife type thing.
well, from that standpoint, yeah, because like what husband and wife things do you do? Like you're not necessarily if like what decisions are you making together? Because like if I'm living here and you're living
Right.
there, I can buy whatever car I want. I don't have to get it approved. Like, hey, I need a new car. Can we afford this or can we do? So like at that point, I can understand from that standpoint too.
Right.
So,
It's just really weird. But someone posted in another group, it's not even a marriage group. Oh, in the Charlotte Lit group, whatever. They were like, people are really get married and living separately because it's becoming so common now. And I want to say like to me, it's akin to taking the easy way out, right? Because I think the whole part of marriage is this ability to come together, live together, kind of morph into this one person that's a totally different being than what you are separately, right? So, but if you don't have to go through all that and you can just kind of bypass that aspect of it by living separately, it's almost like the cheat code.
yeah, now
Or taking the easy way out. It's like, no, we don't want to have to deal with resolving issues like that from us living together. So let's go around that and just live separately.
I also hate posts like that too because at the end of the day, you never know all the intricate parts of the post because it could be the point of maybe they was in the military and that and got stationed like that. And sometimes I've known people to get married that's in the military strictly for the benefits.
No, but this not but when you know what Cheryl with the actress now, she's an actress. So they said why they just didn't. And matter of fact, they asked her, they said, how long what's the key to longevity, like your long marriage? And she's like, the fact that we live separately.
Oh.
That's what she said. And I've seen documentaries where these two people they were not in the military, husband and wife, they worked in the same city, everything else, and they lived separately. They had kids and everything, and they lived separately. Like, nope, this is my spot. This is his spot.
Well, this is my spot, and that's your spot.
No, I'm gonna go get one of them tiny houses, right? So and put them on. We're gonna get some land. I'm gonna go get a tiny house, put it on land, and that's gonna be my little spot right there.
You go right ahead.
You can stay in the big house.
Guess what else you can do?
What?
You can go get you another tiny ass husband that's gonna go for that. I ain't going for that.
I'll be right there on the land.
Okay, that's cool. And guess what I'm gonna be?
What?
On some other land, being married somewhere else.
Why?
I ain't doing that. No.
You ain't gonna let me go?
Nope. I ain't got no go gadget love.
Really?
Yeah, I can't send it out to the time. No, ain't gonna work for me, buddy. Hell, I don't even like. Oh, can't say that. I don't even like going where I go at night.
Yeah.
Like so.
That's true. But you could the tiny house would be right there. You can just come. We can make a little walkway. You even gotta go outside. You just walk through the walkway.
I don't even like walking down the hall to the kitchen. I don't like getting up going to the bathroom. That's too far a walk.
You know what? Yeah, I don't. I mean, like you said, if it works from, but how close you can be as a couple. But I mean, maybe you can learn more about somebody. That I feel like I learned a lot about you from the time we spent on the phone.
Yeah, because I told you everything. I told you I wasn't shit, and you still decided to marry me.
No, I'm being serious though. Like you feel like you can learn. You can't if the person is in line, all right? Because like it's got to be somebody that's honest. But you can learn a lot about someone by spending all these hours on the phone. So I guess I can see
You
how.
know what I learned from you on the phone?
What?
That you was very fertile. You had 8 kids and you was attorney. So I had to figure out the in between. Were you lying? Did you have 8 kids? And you said it was all by your ex-husband. So I had to figure out, were you lying? Did you have more than one kid, father? And were you really an attorney? Because I didn't think you was an attorney either, to be honest with you.
Lord Jesus. Anyway, and then
That's what I learned.
really. Okay. You got anything else you want to talk about?
I want to talk about these podcasts that's out here,
What podcast?
about these relationships.
Oh, okay.
People, the internet is not for everybody. It's a gift in and it's crazy because it also reminds me of two things. One, my father, me telling my father something, and my father coming like, "Oh boy, this, that, and the third." Me like, "Yeah, Dad, you just old. You don't know how things work."
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I look at the internet now. I'm the old dude, and I'm looking at these kids or young adults posting and having these podcasts, sending out faulty messages that's not akin to anything. Because for the simple fact of the matter is, people talking about protecting and providing and don't understand what that is. They're giving bad relationship advice on situations that they don't even know what they're talking about. And then they only snippets so you can't get the full scope of the story that's trying to be portrayed. So these podcasts are actually to me they're terrible. It's a whole lot of hurt people talking about their hurt circumstances, trying to blend. I don't even know how you say it. The old culture with the new mindset, and it's just a freaking disaster. Period. Like when everybody talking about the 50-50 thing, that is so much of a dumb conversation to me. And the reason why I posted this on my page. If you want, as a man, if you want a woman to go 50-50, which you pay half the bills, pay half this, that, and the third, and women decide that they don't want to do it, okay, don't date her. Go find somebody that's gonna go for it. Problem solved. Um, Same thing for the women. Like, men can't get mad at women because they want a guy that make $300,000 a year. And want like if that and want to go to one of these expensive restaurants to eat. If you don't want to do that, then don't do it. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. Like, why are women beefing with men because the men act like they don't want to take them there? If you as a woman want to go there and that man don't want to do it, go find one that's going to give you whatever you need. You don't have to get mad at the person that's not going to do it, because at the end of the day, that ain't who you're going to date anyway. You're trying to get the guy that's going to do it. And the woman, same thing for the man. So y'all arguing with people about stuff that you wouldn't date them anyway. So that's simple conversation. Oh, what's up? So I can take you out on, hey, I can take you out on a date. Yeah, sure. Where you going? Let's go to Applebee's. Applebee's? You know what? Never mind. I'm sorry. That's
Right.
End of the discussion.
Right.
Now I want to go to Roof Chris. Well, thank you.
Go
Take
find
your,
your Roof Chris
I'm not a Roof Chris dude. My income say I can't go to Roof.
Right.
So it's like it's a dumb argument. Like, is all of this is just crazy to me, man.
What's even crazier is how people try to say, like, I don't understand. Like, she don't want to go 50-50, but she'll pay 100% of her bills by herself. Maybe because a relationship to her means more than just financial stuff. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, so I'm supposed to be more willing to go 50-50 with you than pay 100% of my bill, knowing that you're going to cause me a headache. No, I'll pay 100% of my bills. Thank you. Okay. Because I don't want to deal with your headache. Just don't want to deal with that right now. So it goes beyond the financial, and the fact that men cannot understand that some people are saying, no, I'm willing to pay for my peace because I know that if I deal with you, that would make me feel bad. If a person is like, yeah, I don't want to deal with you, and I don't care if you offering to pay 50-50, I don't want anything to do with you, I'd rather pay it by myself. That's what's wrong with What didn't happen to you that you don't like dating people because somebody did something?
I don't know if it's that deep though. I just think it's about.
No, it is. I've heard people say that.
Well, I'm saying in general, like if you're talking about, because like if I just meet you and then I say if I just meet you and I'm like yada yada yada, we're dating this that and the third, and then we start having a conversation like within the first week or two about getting married and we splitting bills and this that and the third, then that should be an automatic turn off for you if you don't want to do that. I could be from the first couple of weeks, I could be showing you I'm a perfect gentleman, putting our personal ambassador foot forward, and then I say, yeah, when I get married, we got to pay the bills split the bills half and half. If your ideal of that is like, oh no, my husband got to pay all the bills, then at that point right there, we already hit a brick wall.
No, I get that, but why? How are you gonna sit there and say, well, you're dumb because that's the point I'm getting at. The fact that people are saying, oh, she's stupid because why would she rather pay the bill 100% of the bill by herself as opposed to being with somebody who's gonna split them 50-50 with her? That's my point.
Yeah, but
like people go to that extra extreme and say, oh yeah, that's just dumb. You won't be with nobody that's gonna pay 50-50, but you rather pay 100. I'm like, yeah, because some people actually think that them paying, like they'll rather pay for their peace. Or some people actually think that if I'm going to be with someone, I'm giving up certain freedoms. And yes, you are too. But my requirement to give them freedoms is that I'm not paying 50-50. You paying everything. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and that's my point. If that's what you...
So I'm saying like for you to question and say like you're dumb because you, again, if a person is saying, no, I'd rather not be with you and pay my stuff by myself as opposed to being with you, and then you want to call them dumb because of that? No, that's more of a slap in your face than it is theirs.
Well, and
because they're like, no, I'll pay 100. That's letting you know that they have something that's more important to them than just the finance. Put it like that. That's letting you know that they are. So if there's a standard, whether it be that they don't believe that they should have to pay 50-50, they man should be a provider. They have some type of criteria or standard that is more important to them than just money.
Okay, I get it.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, because I had a whole nother rebuttal. We was about to go all
the
way
left.
No,
but that's what I'm saying. Like they have a totally different. Like they have something that's way more important than like 50-50 to them don't mean nothing. Like they'll rather pay on their own because of their standard.
And to add to what you're saying, for somebody to say that, oh, you just a gold digger. How am I a gold digger if I'm paying all my bills by myself anyway?
Right.
That means I'm able to do it.
If I'm saying no, okay, well I'll go ahead and pay my own bills.
Because that means I'm able to do it.
Right. There's nothing gold digging about that.
Now I will say this. I agree with what Michelle Obama, that Michelle Obama thing I posted more than anything, because this is the first time ever that I've been in a situation where I understand what she's saying. Like sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes it's 80-20.
But she wasn't even talking about financial.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She was talking about the whole relationship,
the totality of everything.
Like mentally, emotionally, financially, all of that, support-wise.
Yeah. I was getting ready to allude to. That's what I was getting ready to allude to. So like when you factor all of that in, then it'll never be 50-50 anyway.
No, impossible.
It's damn sure it's impossible. So, and that's the part that I think that if people start understanding that maybe marriages and relationships will last longer. Because when I tell you, because if you put on your page right now, should men and women go 50-50? It's going to start a whole nother conversation of
it's going to be all about financial stuff.
The surface level of it. It's not going to get into the emotional and the physical, and just everything else that comes with the relationship.
Right.
So, hell, it's been a point with us. It's been 99 to 1. Like, you know what I mean? So like it's that I don't know, man.
But it's also been a point where it's like I'm saying I don't care about anything about financial. Where I need that percentage to kick in is with the emotional support. Mm-hmm. Like forget all the 50-50 on this. No, I need some 70-30 on the emotional part because I'm tired.
Now I don't know.
And I'm at 30 and I need you to be at 70. Like,
I don't know if you would agree to this, and I hope you're mad by me telling. I ain't gonna go into too much detail. But when I first met you, um, you've always been able to financially hold it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
At that particular time, I think it was probably about 80-20, and that's me with the 80 and you with the 20, just because of where you were at emotionally, and it had nothing to do with finances.
Right, right, right,
What you needed from me had nothing to do with money.
right.
Um, and I guarantee you, by me saying that alone, I could have made $5 an hour at that point, and it still would have been 80-20. But for me to say
Mm-hmm.
that, it's a lot of people that wouldn't even understand what the hell I mean.
Right.
They just wouldn't, and that's also a part of our problems in relationships and marriages, of comprehending the totality of an overall relationship. And I still don't have it all the way. I'm still gaining, learning, and I started at a late age. And from what I see with these podcasts in today's society, I don't even know if they'll ever get it at a later age, because that same cycle keep perpetuating.
Yeah.
I just, because a lot of people are not open minded and have enough open mind to listen and learn.
Right.
So I don't know. But anyway, that's about all I gotta say.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and that whole debate thing is, I'm like, I just don't think y'all get it. Like, for someone, it's not that serious, right? It's just not. And for some men, it's not either. Some men could be at the point where they're like, look, I don't care. I'll pay 100% everything. What I need from you
It's
is
blah
the
blah blah, blah.
support. What
Right.
I need from you is someone to build me up mentally. Like, and people just don't. They just focus on which is, again, goes back to how you started off when you saying, when you build your relationship off of sex or something, or build it off of a
Mm-hmm.
faulty foundation, finances, what somebody can do for you, all those things, it's not solid.
How many times have I told you and thanked you and tell you it's things that you've given me that money couldn't even come close to replacing.
Right.
Um, and that's you being 100 to none. Like, those things mean more to me than anything financially, anything, or whatever the case may be. So when you have your priorities in your life
Mm-hmm.
straight, and you want to do better, then you'll try to understand other aspects, other perspectives from other people, and just the learning curve of love. And what I
Mm-hmm.
am learning, I just thought about this too. What I am learning about love is forever teaching.
It is. Yes.
It is forever teaching, because you can love somebody one particular way one day,
Mm-hmm.
or for a certain period, and with that you still love them like that. But then you have to branch off and start loving in a different way
Mm-hmm.
to keep your relationship to be positive and healthy and all of that. So
That's true. Now it is forever teaching. I like that.
no, I'm a scholar, baby. I'm
Mhm.
a, I do the poetry.
You know what? Shut
Love
up.
is forever teaching. So come here and learn from the forever teacher.
I can't stand you.
Yeah,
I promise you tripping.
that's another thing too. Now, I don't know, she don't really like comedy like that, but I'm gonna say this, and you respond to this, and then I'm getting off. Maybe we should do that now. No, I'll do it now. How important is laughter in a relationship to you? Because for me, you already know. I gotta tell this story. When we first got together, like, I already try to be a little comedian. It'd be funny, it'd be annoying. Sometimes I annoy myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, I will just say things, and it could be projected or taken in a way of like, you little disrespectful shit. Like, but I mean it trying to be funny. And she had the hardest time understanding, like, yo, I don't mean nothing by what I'm saying. I'm just trying to crack a joke. But I've tapered that down a lot. But my question is, because for me, it's like I told you, if I can't make you laugh, I could have never been with you anyway.
Right.
How important is laughter and to you? How important do you think it should be in a relationship?
How important should it be in a relationship? Well, I don't know, but I mean, laughter, just period in life. There's scientific studies that show that laughter, right, cures ailments, just because it puts your mind in a totally different place. And then of course there's that scientific element behind about when you laugh, it releases this and releases that, and it makes your body elevate. So it is something that's supposed to alter your mood, right? Just the function of laughter. Isn't God also know? Because God made us able to laugh, knowing that it would do all that. That I'm just saying, like knowing that it release certain thing chemicals, and because it release certain chemicals, it make our mood mentally happier and stuff like that. Like for him to even think of all those things and put all them things in place, I just started thinking about that. But so I think it is important. I think there's an appropriate time for it, of course, but I do think it's important. But that it's about knowing your partner, though, right? Because in trying to make them laugh, you want to make sure that you're doing it that's appropriate for the situation, that's geared towards how your partner thinks and feels. You know what I'm saying? And how you know they'll react to certain things. Because some people do stuff and they'll be like, "That's a joke," and I'm like, "Oh, if you did that to me now, that would have pissed me off. Like that's not funny to me, right?" So it's all about knowing your partner too. So it's important, but you do it in a way that exemplifies love.
Yeah, that's what
as opposed to a way that's more of a, because you can be joking with somebody, but it's more of a taunting type thing, and it's annoying. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was doing.
Yes, yeah, you were.
Sure.
Very annoying. I was like, oh, I'm about to beat his head off.
I don't know about all that.
But no, it's important to do it in a you know, in the way that is comparable, that you know your partner, you know what your partner needs are, what's gonna be funny to them, what's not gonna be funny to them, and it's important to do it in that matter. There's been times I've been so irritated or out of it or sad, whether it's about mom or something like, and Jermaine's done something, and I don't even be wanting to laugh, but then you make me laugh. I'll be like, or at least make me smile, and just that by itself makes me feel better. And I have to say, like, you an ass. That's what I say to them all the time. Yeah, you an ass. You bet not. Just stuff like that, right? And it's like, and I'm like, you an ass. You be like, cold.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, like I remember when we first had sex and I pulled my pants down.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that's the type of shit I do. Like I just say stuff like, first of all, her sister's a pastor, and her niece is a pastor. Her nephew's you know what? I'm around God all the time, and he just has to do something with me because I be cursing, but I gotta tell a story.
I'm scared
about the one when I was texting you that stuff.
Oh my God, y'all! That was this man.
We gonna say this. I definitely gotta go. You go ahead and tell it.
No, you tell.
First of all, I don't even know where was that. What is that? Mom's Christmas party. What was it, like 2 years ago? Yeah, what?
Last year.
Was it last year?
It was last year.
Yeah. So we was at a Christmas party for Mom, and they was going through the little slide skit and this, that, and the third. I didn't know she was using her phone.
It's a picture slide. So I had worked really hard to put together of all the family to some nice music. And Jermaine.
So she had on something, whatever she had on. She was looking kind of good to me that day, whatever. So I didn't know she was using her phone. So I started texting her all kind of sex messages. And everybody sitting there, it's like if you in the movie theater.
It's like it's on this big screen.
Yeah, it's like
right. Everybody's looking at the screen because they're seeing the pictures.
I'm texting all kind of nasty sex stuff to her, and she's just popping up on the screen.
It's all on the screen.
Now I'm not even looking.
I want to do this to you,
and I'm not even looking at the screen. Right? I'm just in my phone, just texting, and I'm sitting right in front of you. I'm not looking at it. I'm like, doo. Hey, I want to stick my finger in your butthole and all kind of stuff. And Lord have mercy, it's just the whole family seen it. I'm glad we was married and that wasn't my first time up there. I'll say that. That was it. I couldn't even help get everything out the facility. I was so embarrassed.
I was like, Jermaine,
stop texting me.
Stop texting me.
I'm like, how the hell? But yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, so don't do that. That's not the type of laughter we're talking about.
That's yeah, and believe me, I heard that for a couple weeks, couple months. So yeah, but yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, he was so ashamed. It came up. He's like, "Where's Jermaine?" I was like, "He in the car."
Yeah, I wasn't coming out of that out of the house no more. I was hid in the closet and everything. What you mean that he went back to Charlotte? But
anyway,
anyway,
we will be back next week, hopefully on time, guys. Y'all gotta give us some grace because
that don't say it.
we gotta go between 8 to 8:30. Our schedules are, for some reason, on Wednesday. Maybe that's like the devil. Like things get really, really busy, and it's like I'm busy with work. He's doing something else, and this is like, oh my god, it's 8 o'clock, or I'm like I work late, and then I'm trying to cook dinner for the kids, and then realize, oh, it's 8, or I got to try to eat before I fast. So it's just like it's kind of hectic. But we try to keep it between that 8 and 8:30 range. Hopefully, my the last couple of weeks, something's been going on with this app that I use, where every time I'm trying to stream, it'll say, "Oh, well, you got to reconnect to this page. You got to reconnect to that page." So that's another thing that kind of holds us up. Be patient with us. Between 8 and 8:30, we normally get on here. We last about an hour, and I've heard people say they enjoy it, and hopefully, like we can have some guests on
We'll have the
next week or something,
and the senator
and everything to kind of talk about it, because we can invite guests on here. So if anyone ever wants to come on here and talk, or if anyone has a question that they want us to answer on live, feel free to shoot us an inbox or ask us to come on the show live. Because I not only stream through Facebook, but it's also streamed through my YouTube channel too. And I have subscribers, guys. I have I have a lot of subscribers actually.
Yeah, I don't pay it.
I can't remember, but I think it's enough. I got the subscribers because my son, the 11-year-old, used to use my YouTube channel, and he had all kind of videos on there, and they liked them or something, some type of videos with him and stuff. So anyway, we got a lot of subscribers, but we'll be back next Wednesday to talk about some more topics. And if you have any ideas about what you want us to talk about, inbox us or shoot us a message on our page.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a whole bunch of lies. I'm just playing.
Have a good night. Mwah.